Good morning, friends. Maybe this will be the last safety thing. Maybe we'll talk about safety for another 5 years. Who knows? But one of the things about safety is noticing what that does with our connections with other people. There's a thing in the betrayal trauma work that I do that's called the intimacy pyramid. And there are rungs to that pyramid, those ladders. The very foundation of the pyramid is truth. A lot of times when there's been betrayal trauma, it's because there's not been a lot of honesty about what has been happening. And a lot of times if you're doing betrayal work, the truth might come through a disclosure of everything that's been happening. Or there might be a piece of that as well, of like helping your partner understand the impact of their betrayal. The second piece of the pyramid is safety. And safety can be because, again, all those things I've covered in previous things, but it can also be about consistently not engaging in those behaviors. So the thing we focus on the most is rigorous honesty. So how am I being thoroughly honest with my partner when I've betrayed them and I'm putting them in a position of powerlessness because they didn't know what I was doing secretly on the side? The third one is about trust. We cannot have trust if we do not have safety and truth. And so if you're feeling like you don't trust your partner, you don't know if what's happening is happening, if you feel like you don't trust your coworker, your neighbor, your kid, whatever, being able to notice the things on the lower parts are the things that indicate those things. And so, for example, if I want my kid to talk to me, I have to be safe. If I want her to trust me, I have to be safe. And sometimes she will do things that trigger my trauma and I want to have a big reaction. But if my feelings get to be the boss, then that interferes with my goal to have a safe and trusting relationship. You see how these are all beginning to tie together. And so paying attention to those things. So when we are looking at that pyramid, the fourth section is vulnerability. Being able to be vulnerable. And then the top one, of course, is intimacy. And being aware that intimacy doesn't just mean sex. Intimacy can be a variety of things that contribute to our feelings of closeness and connection and belonging with the people around us. And so when we're talking about wanting to be close to people, wanting to have healthy relationships with people, we cannot ignore safety as it is a foundational principle. We cannot feel safe if we don't have the full truth. It's not possible. And so being able to recognize when we're having difficult conversations or when we notice we've been ignoring difficult conversations, we have to get to the truth first. We have to be truthful, even if it might hurt feelings. And the thing is recognizing, hey, some of my trauma stuff makes it really hard to speak up. Some of it makes it hard to find my voice or use my voice. Some part of me is scared to speak up because what if no one actually listens? And recognizing all those pieces that contribute to what keep us stuck. Now, if you're noticing that these patterns are happening and you're seeing these themes in our conversations, it might be time to enlist professional help. And the thing is navigating all those pieces and the complexity of times we weren't safe, times we didn't get what we needed, things that interfere with our ability to feel close to people, whether it's our own fear or not having the full story or not trusting what's happening because it's been so unsteady because of betrayal. So many different things. And so paying attention to what does that look like? What do I need? How am I getting my own way of being able to have the connections I want? And how do I find people that want them back? Because sometimes we want connections with people and we have to grieve them because they're not willing or capable of showing up in the way that you need. And then evaluating what you need to do next in response to those things. Those are all hard questions we have to find and answer. But the first person that can that has responsibility for our safety is us. And so being able to establish safety for ourselves and communicate that and finding out who is and isn't on our team is important, because otherwise we just stay stuck. And I don't know about you, but stuck does not feel good. Stuck does not feel connected, and stuck doesn't feel healing. And so I hope that you can begin to continue to establish safety for yourself, to do the things that feel like being safe, to ask for it, and then maybe be surprised by people who are showing up in ways that you didn't know they were willing or able to do, because that is where the healing happens. I hope you have a good week.